Can we do little kirtan till Prabhu comes?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, Mataji. Anybody wants to do the kirtan? Okay. We will do little kirtan.
Hare Krishna Matajis and Prabhujis. Anybody wants to do bhajan or any kirtan? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Mataji, shall I start Kirtan?
Yes, Prabhu.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Chilyavadi Asatya Deshata Jai Shri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Advaita Gadadara Srivasa Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Hare Ram 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Baladeva Ramayi Jaya Sudarshana Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare
Yes,
Krishna,
just having some conversations and got delayed. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadadi Swapadandikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapada Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sagitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kant Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhavyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo 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 Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Desatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay, so now we are in the conversation about the Mayavadi philosophies. Mayavadi's philosophies is about they study the Vedanta. They spend their entire life just on philosophical understanding. Their conclusion is studying the scriptures will lead to realization perfection. Okay. And Varanasi, which is considered to be one of the spiritual epicenter, is flooded by Mayavadi sannyasis. I mean, I'm talking with the context to the time period when Mahaprabhu goes to Varanasi. Mahaprabhu goes to Varanasi twice. So now we are talking about the first visit of Varanasi. Okay. So now here there are two accusations. One accusation is the Vaishnava sannyasis, they blame that this Mayavadis, they are into dry renunciation, dry sannyasa. That means they just read philosophy, not having nourishment, not understanding the real love of Godhead. And the renunciation also is very dry. So that's the mood they are in, which means they will reach the Brahman effulgence planet. They will never be able to see the Lord, experience or transact the rasas between the devotee and the Lord. Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavaniti Shabdayate. So they never come to the platform of the Bhagavan at all. Right? So that's the accusation of the Vaishnava sannyasis on the Mayavadi sannyasis. The Mayavadi sannyasis say that these Vaishnava sannyasis are illiterate. They're sentimental. They do not know the real function. They don't read the Vedanta. They don't read the Brahma Sutras. And they also conclude that they just sentimentally dance and chant and sing and all these things, which a sannyasi is not supposed to do. Right? So that's the conflict that both of them are having, and both of them are, confronting at each other. So now, Sri Chaitanya Prabhu, when he visited Varanasi, he is going to enact his pastime now. So how Mahaprabhu is going to do that, and what is he going to conclude his entire preaching on? That's what will be now reading through. Okay. Now you may be wondering, Prabhu, is it required? Yeah, it is required, because today you may not confront a Mayavadi straight away, right, in your life. You may not, or you may. So let's talk about many religions today. In many religions, properly established religions, not according to the Dharma Shastra, according to mankind, like Christianity or Jainism or Buddhism, the real understanding of their own religion and presenting that own religion itself is not there properly. So where is the question of a devotee practicing proper religious principles? So that doesn't exist. However, among the so-called Hindu kind of religion, there are many branches that have come. So, for example, you have Chinmay Mission, you have Brahma Kumaris. Then you go to the northern side, you have a lot of Sahajiya mentalities. A lot of Mayavadis still exist. And even today, people say that they want to practice mystic yogis. You can see Kumbh Mela means lakhs and lakhs of mystic yogis. Suddenly they appear from somewhere, and then they are very poor, in a different form of dressing. Then they try to take dip in the river. So all those things you can see. And once the Kumbh Mela is over, they'll go back and practice mystic potency. So people are continuously tossed between what is reality, what is not reality, what is correct, what's not correct. So hence Mahaprabhu is playing the role of an elevated, learned Brahmana, a sannyasi, and then try to teach by example what's the highest principle of one's life. So you see, there are a lot of similarities between the way Mahaprabhu did and what Srila Prabhupada did. Mahaprabhu went, the head, who was called Prakashananda Saraswati in Varanasi, he confronted him about which is the right Mayavada philosophy, which is the right philosophy for humankind. Similarly, when you see in the current age, when Prabhupada went and traveled, he confronted many, fathers from the Christ, who was called the head of the institute. Many of them, he defeated many of them. He defeated many of the so-called scientists, their logic, like that, So Prabhupada told that his disciples must be well versed with the knowledge of the Gita and Bhagavatam. And he says that is good enough for you to have good conversations and make people understand. No, we cannot be just reading sentimentalistically Hare Krishna that do nothing else. No, he said, while you're practicing a bhakti, your foundational knowledge also must be very strong. That's what Prabhupada said. And hence he wrote all these books. Today, we have many great devotees, Vidwans, who are writing excellent books about all the spiritualism. So we should read. Of course, we should read them after finishing Srila Prabhupada's basic books. What are the basic books? Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and Chaitanya Charitamrita. Then go read all other things. At least once you should read them. Yeah. So in that context, now we're going to see how the argument is going to shape and how Mahaprabhu is strategizing. What is he actually going to do? That's the key now. That's what we're going to see. Okay. So Caitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela, chapter 7, text 42. Yeah, someone read.
Yes, Prabhu. Text 42. Murka sannyasi nicha dharma nahi jane, babu ka hayya pere, babu ke rasane. This Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is an illiterate sannyasi and therefore does not know his real function. Guided only by his sentiments, he wanders about in the company of other sentimentalists. Purport by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Foolish Mayavadis, not knowing that the Krishna consciousness movement is based on a solid philosophy and
Philosophy of transcendental science.
Philosophy of transcendental science, superficially conclude that those who dance and chant do not have philosophical knowledge. Those who are Krishna conscious actually have full knowledge of the essence of Vedanta philosophy, for they study the real commentary on the Vedanta philosophy, Srimad Bhagavatam, and follow the actual words of the Supreme Personality of Godhead as found in Bhagavad Gita as it is. After understanding the Bhagavata philosophy or Bhagavata Dharma, they become fully spiritually conscious or Krishna conscious, and therefore their chanting and dancing is not material but is on the spiritual platform. Although everyone admires the ecstatic chanting and dancing of the devotees, who are therefore popularly known as the Hare Krishna people, Mayavadis cannot appreciate these activities because of their poor fund of knowledge. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
You already explained, Prabhu.
You see, no? You see how they are, the conflict is going. Now, the base thing that you have to understand is, it's actually step-by-step understanding. The first step, is there a creator? Yes, there is a creator because there is creation. Without a creator, there is no creation. Okay? So that's the first logic. Okay. Now, second, if there is a creator, then how do we know who's the creator? Will the creator be seen by our naked eyes? Or why is the creator invisible? Is the next question. Okay. So now, the argument is, this Brahmanda, the solar system or what it may be, you see, Prabhupada always says, there is nothing accidental here. You should remove the word accident out of one's books. Everything is as per the plan of someone supreme. There's nothing happens out of accident. Okay. So now, if there is a creator, there is creation. Okay. Now, will the creator show himself through his energies or through his form or through his expansion or something to the living entities of this world? Yes. Because whether you take the process of Brahman liberation or whether you take the process of merging into the creation, or whether you're going to talk about the process of continuously maintain your entity and continue to serve the creator, you see, if you do not know the creator, whatever attribute he is, you will not be able to make a connection. Right? So if I do not know who my mother or my father is, I cannot build a relationship with them. Correct? Very simple. If I do not know who my lover is, I cannot fall in love with that person. If I do not know who my brother and sister is, I cannot have sibling relationship with them. So similarly, if I do not know the creator, I cannot build a relationship with them. That's the base. Now, secondly, if the creator says, I will never give you a window or an opportunity for you to know me, then we can have the point that yes, we do not know whether creator really exists. But that is not true, because without the presence of creator, creation cannot happen. Everything is so systematic. There is no accidental. So the argument is the creator periodically, so I'm using the word periodically, continuously, regularly, he demonstrates his presence. He demonstrates his presence directly or indirectly. Because he demonstrates his presence, every aspect of this creation, in creation there are only two types. One, living entities, non-living entities. That's it. Innate, innate. Innate, though you leave it, it is just energy of creation. No problem. Living entities, if they do not understand this, how will they march towards the goals of the creator? Why creator is doing all these things? He cannot. So, if you put all these things together, you will see God as a person regularly visits this place to show his presence. Thereby, people connect with him. Okay, so this is a very important point to understand. Okay, but in other schools of thought, none of them, they build that relationship. They're always in the mood of, okay, I want this, please give me this. I want this, please give me this. I want to live happily, so give me this. I want to live comfortably, please give me this. I want to be successful. In every religion you see, the people put themselves as a center of life. That is what Prabhupada brings this brilliant knowledge and defeats all these things. Now, Mahaprabhu will do the same thing. Okay? So that's what you have to watch. You have to understand the mood at which Mahaprabhu is going to solve this whole problem. Okay? 43. Let's go to 43.
Hare Krishna. Caitanya Caritamrita, Adi Leela, text, chapter 7, text 43. Ye sabba suniya prabhu hase mane mani upeksha kariya koro na kaila sambhashani. Translation and purport. Hearing all this blasphemy, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu merely smiled to himself, rejected all these accusations, and did not talk with the Mayavadis. Purport. As Krishna conscious devotees, we do not like to converse with Mayavadi philosophers simply to waste valuable time, but whenever there is an opportunity, we impress our philosophy upon them with great vigor and success. Hare Krishna.
Okay. So what are the 2 pointers here? What are the 2 behavioral aspects Mahaprabhu is recommending for us?
We don't unnecessarily talk with the Mayavadis.
No connection with them.
No
yes.
with them. And then if we have to establish a conversation with them, we talk to them in every opportunity. We talk to them about our philosophy and try to with great vigor with that.
No. Is he saying that?
Yeah. Whenever there's an opportunity, we impress our philosophy upon them with great vigor.
What does impress our philosophy means?
Try to convince them.
So it's in an argumentative mode, right? You prove with Shastric reference, you prove with examples, and convince them about our philosophy. That's why he says, opportunity to impress our philosophy with great vigor and success. Vigor and success means, yes, use all your energy in an argumentative mode. No problem. Okay? But we should learn this entire method from Mahaprabhu now. Okay, 44.
Hare Krishna, text 7.44. Upeksha kariya kaila mathura gamana, mathura dekiya puna kaila agamana. Thus, neglecting the blasphemy of the Varanasi Mayavadis, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu proceeded to Mathura. And after visiting Mathura, he returned to meet the situation.
Okay. So 2 times Mahaprabhu visiting now already. Okay. Yeah.
Purport. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not talk with the Mayavadi philosophers when he first visited Varanasi, but he returned there from Mathura to convince them of the real purport of Vedanta. Hare Krishna.
Okay. So in the hierarchy, where does Vedanta Sutras exist? Who can give this answer correctly?
In the Shankara philosophy, no Prabhu, Vedanta Sutras.
No.
No.
The knowledge of Veda Shastra was spoken by Krishna to Brahmaji. Brahmaji, by the empowerment of the Lord, spoke the Veda Shastras from his four mouths or his four heads. Vedavyas collected this knowledge and divided into four sections or four categories of knowledge. So you got four Veda Shastra. Now these Veda Shastras were given to his four disciples for each one of them to create a lineage, to create or expand details of these Veda Shastras. And then many branches of Upanishads manifested from each of the Veda Shastra. Then from Upanishads, the Vedanta Sutra, the Brahma Sutras, all the sutras manifested. Then manifested the Puranic versions. Right? So this is how we got these sutras. Now, why Vedavyasa writes the Srimad Bhagavatam or the Puranas? He said these Brahma Sutras or Vedanta Sutra are cryptic. Secondly, you don't have an able preacher to make us understand the meaning of these in the Kali Yuga context. And third, given the lower aspects of memory and intelligence in Kali Yuga, this Vedanta Sutra is not the right, philosophical representation for people to understand in common or in general, in masses. So, he completely breaks down to write the Puranic versions. Correct? So, what is Mahaprabhu claiming? He is claiming that this Vedanta Sutra is difficult. Why you want to follow it? What have you understood out of it? That's the argument he's having. Okay, 45. 45.
Hare Krishna, text 45. काशी ते लेखक का शूद्रा श्री चंद्रशेखर कांद्रा घरे रहिला प्रभु स्वतंत्र ईश्वरा. Translation and purport. This time Lord Caitanya stayed at the house of Chandrasekhara. Although he was regarded as Shudra or Kayastha, for the Lord, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is completely independent. Lord Caitanya stayed at the house of Chandrasekhara, a clerk. Although a sannyasi, he is not supposed to reside in a Shudra's house. 500 years ago, especially in Bengal, it was the system that persons who were born in the families of Brahmanas were accepted as Brahmanas, and all those who took birth in other families, even the higher castes, namely Kshatriyas and Vaishyas, were considered Shudras, non-Brahmanas. Therefore, although Sri Chandrasekhara was a clerk from a Kayastha family in Upper India, he was considered as a Shudra. Similarly, Vaishyas, especially those of the Suvarna Vainik community, were accepted as Shudras in Bengal, and even the Vaidyas, who were generally physicians, were also considered Shudras. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, however, did not accept this artificial principle, which was introduced in society by self-interested men, and later the Kayasthas, Vaidyas, and Vaniks all began to accept the sacred thread, despite objections from the so-called Brahmanas. Before the time of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Suvarna Vanik...
Pause here.
Yes.
Did you all understand the first paragraph?
Yes, Prabhu.
Huh? Okay. So this is a caste Brahmana problem.
Yes.
I am higher caste, you're lower caste, only I can do, you can't do. So these are all suppressions artificially brought by these Brahmanas just to elevate their position. Okay, there's no bhakti here. Okay. Yes, Prabhu.
Before the time of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Suvarna Vanik class was condemned by Ballal Sen, who was then the king of Bengal, due to a personal grudge. In Bengal, the Suvarna Vanik class are always very rich, for they are bankers and dealers in goods, gold and silver. Therefore, Ballal Sen used to borrow money from a Suvarna Vanik banker. Ballal Sen's bankruptcy later obliged the Suvarna Vanik banker to stop advancing money to him. And thus, Ballal Sen became angry and condemned the entire Suvarnavanik society as belonging to the Shudra community. He tried to introduce the Brahmanas not to accept the Suvarnavaniks as followers of the instructions of the Vedas under the Brahmanica directions. But although some Brahmanas approved of Ballal Sen's actions, others did not. Thus, the Brahmanas also became divided among themselves, and those who supported the Suvarnavanik class were rejected from the Brahmana community. At the present day, the same biases are still being followed.
You see, this is just an action of one powerful Brahmana community head trying to change the whole system for his own, situation or benefit. Very nicely explained about the example taken by Suvarnavanika communities. Okay, next.
So there are many Vaishnava families in Bengal whose members, although not actually born Brahmanas, act as acharyas by initiating disciples and offering the sacred thread as enjoined in the Vaishnava Tantras. For example, in the families of Thakura Raghunandana Acharya, Thakura Krishnadasa, Navani Hoda, and Rasikananda Deva, a disciple of Shyamananda Prabhu, the sacred thread ceremony is performed, as it is for the caste Goswamis, and this system has continued for the past 300 to 400 years. Accepting disciples born in Brahmana families, they are bona fide spiritual masters who have the facility to worship the Saligrama Shila, which is worshipped with the deity. As of this writing, Shaligrama Shila worship has not yet been introduced in our Krishna consciousness movement, but soon it will be introduced in all our temples as an essential function of Acharana Marga, that is deity worship.
Archana Marga.
Sorry, Archana Marga. Thank you.
Okay. So very self-explanatory. The example is given to understand how things evolved over a period of time. Why some people are called Sudras, some people wear thread, some are Brahmanas, why this, why that. You see, over a period of time, there's a heavy mix-up, the whole set of people. Now today, someone comes with a surname, a Brahminical surname or a Goswamis or things like that. Whether they're practicing it or not, people will call them as Brahminical class. But that's not true. Lord says, you don't become a Brahmana, or a Kshatriya, or a Vaishya, or a Sudra by birth, but you become that same by your practice. So it is what we practice and what consciousness we develop, that's what we are. Any questions? I'm not going to go detail into this. Any questions? Okay, so now Mahaprabhu stayed in the house of Chandrasekhara Acharya. Okay, please note this point. Okay, 746.
Only Brahmana and non-Brahmana, only two.
Mataji?
Only two classes, Brahmana and non-Brahmana, Sudras, that's all.
Either you are Brahmana, according to some classes of men, otherwise all of you are called Sudras. But later on, what people realized, no, we are not really Sudras. And the people start to accept the thread and they start to perform certain rituals and certain samaskaras as the Brahmanas would follow. Right? So that's what the evolution happened. Now you see what happened, Parikshit Maharaj and Shringi story. So when he wrongly cursed a dharmic king, unwantedly, when that small boy cursed a king who's the epitome of dharma, the entire Brahmana community fell down. And you see, this is how it falls down. Okay. So technically, when Mahaprabhu came 500 years back, he said there is no Brahmana at all. There's no Kshatriya, there's no Vaishya at all. Everyone are Sudras only. Because you do not know the conclusion of the Vedanta Sutra. What's the conclusion of Vedanta Sutra? To know about the Creator, Vishnu or Krishna. You do not know that. All of you are called Sudra. Because you do not know, you do not practice. Okay? So hence, the movement created by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is about preparing anyone by his process of knowledge and activity to practice Brahmanical standards and to become a Brahman actually. That's the point you have to understand.
Yes, true.
Okay, 46, let's read. Let's read about Tapan.
Chaitanya, I will read one. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela 7.46. Tapana Mishrera Kare Bhikshari Nirvana Nirvahana Sanyasira Sange Nahimane Nimantarana. Translation. As a matter of principle, Lord Chaitanya regularly accepted his food at the house of Tapana Mishra. He never mixed with other sannyasis, nor did he accept invitations from them. Purport. This exemplary behavior of Lord Chaitanya definitely proves that a Vaishnava sannyasi cannot accept invitations from Mayavadi sannyasis or intimately mix with them. Hare Krishna.
Okay, good. So is the understanding very clear? We cannot mix with Mayavadi sannyasis, even as a casual relationship. Okay, so let me ask you a question. Now we have this hill temple, Hare Krishna hill temple. What is it called?
Ritvik philosophy, no problem.
Ritvik temple. Okay, correct. What does the Ritvik means? Ritvik means they will reject a living guru. Okay, so there's no guru worship there. Okay, the worship guru only Srila Prabhupada and somewhere above them. That's all. They don't worship any other guru. Okay, I call it Ritvik. Now, if you go to this Ritvik temple, it's the same deities, Krishna Balaram, Gaur Nitai, Vigraha, nice Vigraha of Srila Prabhupada. But if you go them, you may say, Prabhu, I'm not mixing with any of those devotees, nothing. No, I'll just see the deities and come back. Okay, no problem. But you will somehow or other, you will eat some prasadam given by them. And who is cooking that? A Ritvik devotee is cooking the prasadam and he's offering that prasad to you. So now transfer of consciousness happens, which means over a period of time, we may also lose the importance of Guru in our heart. Right? So that's what is important. So whom we associate is important. Proves that Vaishnava sannyasi cannot accept invitation from Mayavadi sannyasi, intimately mix with them. You cannot connect with them. Is this point clear?
Yes, Prabhu. That means we can go to the temple but don't accept the prasadam.
In general, because it is not that it is not prasadam or anything. It is prasadam of the Lord, but it may have a mix of consciousness of Ritvikism in it.
Yes.
Okay. And that may impact us. You get the point?
Yes, yes, Prabhu.
Okay. So it is not that it is not prasadam, it is wrongly cooked, it's not sattvic. I'm not getting to all those aspects. Those aspects may be true, but it may have a mix of Ritvik consciousness in the prasad. Okay. Okay, 47.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hmm.
Prabhu, so this Ritvik philosophy, is there something like that even in other sampradayas also?
No, Ritvik is not about this sampradaya, that sampradaya. Ritvik means someone who rejects the current living guru and they will only go to the founder guru or higher than that or all the way up to Krishna. That's what it means. It is no relationship to a sampradaya.
No, what I mean to ask is, are there any kind of an examples wherein this Ritvik philosophy is seen in other sampradayas? Any sampradayas that you know or you're aware of?
Then bro, in Ramakrishna mission, Ramakrishna and all they teach. Ramakrishna is the guru. Now also.
I've not been to the Ramakrishna Ashram inside to understand what they do. My knowledge about Ramakrishna mission is about Prabhupada gave 2-3 lectures about Ramakrishna and how he told that we should avoid him. Only that much knowledge I have. Plus, I have read one book written by Ramakrishna where he's talking about. I didn't like that book. It was disgusting to me. So I just skipped it. I don't have much knowledge about Ramakrishna.
They also follow the
Prabhu, they also follow that, huh?
They also follow the living guru.
Okay. So now let's take other sampradayas. Since you asked about other sampradayas. So many sampradayas got, for example, we have a branch out by Shamananda Pandit. Then we have this Vallabhacharya branching out in the Nimbarka Sampradaya. So like that, branching out has happened. So for example, if you look at Brahma Madhava also, after Madhvacharya, we branched out again. Okay. So branching out is okay. But the point is, you should be able to accept a guru and surrender to a guru. Okay. Who is bona fide in nature. That's the point you have to understand. The guru that you surrender must come from a parampara, must be bona fide, and he must be living guru. Okay. So if you apply these rules, you should be able to conclude irrespective of something.
Prabhu, they've kept one exclusive room for us. I mean, once I went there, they kept an exclusive room wherein Prabhupada will be like sitting down and writing.
Where?
Yeah, all the writings are there and they take and they show, see, this is this. And I didn't argue because I was not.
Where is this? Where is this?
In a hill temple, Prabhu.
The hill temple. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Now, let me ask you a simple question, Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu.
If they think they are right, why they keep on proving that point to every point that's coming? And why to make a setup to prove that point? Is there a setup in any ISKCON temple to prove the point that our philosophy is correct? No.
No, I have not seen.
So it's a sense of insecurity. Correct? Now, let's say, Mataji, I'm a thief. Okay. I just visited your house. And for every 2 minutes or every 5 minutes, I kept on reinstating the fact, oh, I'm a clean person, I'm not a thief, I'm not a thief. Then you're going to get, hey, you may be something, right? Oh, that's the whole point. And that's the missing point that they have. Maya Pahatanya.
Because we were originally members there, Prabhu. So they used to come repent. And I told them, see, I've been told that you people belong to Ritvik philosophy. We are not supposed to. But I just come there because I like the deities. I would like to see them. So I'm coming there. So
when he said that, what was his reaction?
Then he said, no, Mataji, it's up to you. If you want to come, you come. Because we have donated in a big way there. So, and because Narsimha Abhisheka, they do very nicely, Prabhu. It is like, so then that day he took me to that room. It's like an inner this thing. I think even the Mataji also was there with me, Kamishra Mataji. He showed us, see, this is the thing. This is what Prabhupada said. This is what Prabhu said. And I didn't have that much of knowledge to argue with him. He said, no arguments. I've been told like that. I will follow that. I told him when he came up. But as you said, they're trying to prove that they are right.
You should ask only just one simple question. Yes, Prabhupada told all these things. I agree to that. Now, Prabhupada took initiation from a living guru, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakura. That is his just a Harinaman Brahminical initiation. Now, when he wanted to take sannyas initiation, his spiritual master had gone. He left the world. So he searched for another living guru and he took from him. Did he keep the statue of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur and take initiation from him? No. Why can't you follow that philosophy? You should have asked that question. You should shut his mouth.
Yes. Now I can ask, but earlier I
Did
cannot.
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu keep the Vigraha of Ishvara Puri and took initiation of sannyasi? No. He searched for a guru. He could not get a Vaishnava guru. He went to Keshavarthi, even though he was a Mayavadi sannyasi. He still took it from him because he wanted to take it from a living guru.
Yes.
Why can't you follow this philosophy? You should ask this question. Okay, so people are there, great examples.
Yes.
So what will be their destination?
Example of Madhavendra Puri. When Madhavendra Puri wanted to do deity services and on Govardhan, what did he do? He called all these local brahmanas. He said, hey, you are not qualified brahmanas, you are not Vaishnava brahmanas. So he initiated all of them, brought them under the parampara and said, okay, now serve the deities. Correct? Did he keep a vigraha of a spiritual master and said, okay, you take initiation from him and go? No. Then all of us will need to keep only one vigraha of Brahmaji, the Adi Guru for the living entities, and we'll take initiation only from Brahmaji, all of us. We have to conclude there, right? We don't need any spiritual master at all. Okay, sorry, Pawan Prabhu, you had a question.
So what will be their destination, Prabhu? So if you see others who are worshipping demigods, they'll go there. Who are fake gurus, they'll go there. But here they're worshipping Prabhupada still. So what will be their destination?
Prabhu, let's say you join a non-bona fide education institution, which is not recognized by the Indian education system. You must study well. You must study your subjects very well. But you will ever get a degree?
No.
Will you ever be able to write or give an exam? No. So effort is there. Everything looks same. You read the same books. Everything is fine. But your destination will change. So going to Vaikuntha, you may go to somewhere else. Where he will go, we don't know. But Mahaprabhu says the destination of Mayavadis are very grave, very dangerous. Anyway, he'll quote all those things now. Yeah. Okay, let's read 47 now.
Prabhu, I have one more question, Prabhu. Can I ask, Prabhu?
Sure.
So, little deviation, Prabhu. See, Ritvik sannyasi is something we understand, but what about Gaudiya Mat sannyasi, Prabhu? Something little bit different, right?
Gaudiya Mats are okay. They are a proper bona fide sampradaya. You can go to Gaudiya Mat and take initiation or practice whatever they're saying.
So you can have prasadam, you can associate devotees under sannyasi, right?
No, we don't associate. If you want, you can go there and become a disciple and take up Gaudiya Mat. Okay. Then you ask a question, then what's the difference between a Gaudiya Mat and ISKCON? Okay. It's like this, Prabhu. Today you have CBSE, today you have ICSE, you have State Board. Okay. Now, whichever board you are, wherever you're studying, you may have your own destination. Now, if you ask a CBSE person, he'll say CBSE is the best, others are not good. Ask the ICSE guys, he'll say, no, ICSE is the best, CBSE and State are all lower class. State, if you ask, you'll say, no, you guys read too much, but practically we are better. So everyone will have their own justification. Okay. Where you feel there is clarity, you join that organization. Okay. So that's why you should read the Leelamrita. You should understand the position of Prabhupada. Okay. So somewhere in the 10th canto, we'll read that now. We'll be coming across that verses now in the 10th canto, maybe in the 7th or 8th chapter something. Lord is saying, or Sukadeva Goswami is telling that how a living entity will get liberated. Okay. So now, what is the original position of a living entity? He was in the Garbha ocean. What Garbha ocean? Garbha of Garbhodaksha Vishnu, who's an expansion of Mahavishnu. Clear? In the Garbha means the stomach. The stomach of that Garbhodaksha Vishnu, this unlimited living entities were present. Okay. Lord, by his causeless mercy, want to give all these living entities a chance. What chance? Chance to perfect their life and return back home. So what Lord did, Lord creates Brahmaji. Who is Brahmaji? Out of all those living entities in the stomach of Garbha, he picks one Jiva, who's considered the supremost among the other Jivas, and empowers him as Brahmaji. And he teaches him through the recitation of the Gayatri Mantra, the entire knowledge of creation. Now what Brahmaji does? Okay, Brahmaji is fully clear. Okay, this is my purpose of my life. He takes each of the living entities from the Garbha and gives them a body according to their state of consciousness and according to their karmic reaction at the time in the previous state. Okay? So, if there are 1 million living entities in the stomach of Mahavishnu, he said, okay, 10% will all become trees because you are all having that kind of desire. Okay, another 8% you'll all become fish because you all have desires like this. So, 84 lakh bodies, he associates these bodies according to the living entities karma. Okay, now the entire spectrum, 1 million, 100 million living entities are given bodies now. Everything is pushed into the system. Okay, and Krishna enters as Paramatma, the life activates. So, you see here, very clear. Now, Brahmaji lives for 100 years. In 100 years, what Brahmaji does, a living entity may be an insect. Slowly, he upgraded himself to become a human being. He did not complete the journey of human life. Again, he came down to ignorant living entities. He kept on cycling around. So, what is the responsibility of Brahmaji? The responsibility of Brahmaji is to clean this person, realize God, and send back home. So, Brahmaji is trying many ways. He sent the 4 Kumaras. Hey, teach them the real purpose of Veda Shastra and make them human beings and send them back home. They said, no, we don't want to do that. So that's why Brahmaji is trying to do continuous various methods and means to make these living entities to realize, and the realization can happen in the human form of life and go back home. No, it is not happening at all. Why? The realization by the living entity is not happening. They are not interested to practice bhakti. So Brahmaji is struggling. However, there will be, let's say, 10% of the living entities, they became human beings, they became God conscious, and they realized the value of life. Such people cannot get liberated out of this anda, that is the solar system. They would reach the same planet as Brahmaji and reside in Brahmaloka. Okay. How long this living entity will reside in the Brahmaloka? Until the life of Brahma. That means they have to live along with Brahmaji for 100 years. And when Brahmaji dies, Brahmaji is assured of liberation by the Lord because he is doing his duty pakka. So along with Brahmaji, you follow the rules and regulations of Brahmaji, get liberated. Go back home, back to Godhead. This is the complexity of one's liberation. This is the complexity of one's creation. We cannot go back home. However, Krishna is called Bankya Bihari. What does this Bankya Bihari mean? Krishna will say, I'll break all rules and regulations. I'll break all the standard definition just to save one devotee who is a deserving candidate to reach home with me. So, when Prabhupada comes, when Krishna comes, what does he say? You practice the principles, what I'm trying to tell you, which is the top secret. You don't need to wait till this 100 years of Brahmaji and then get liberated. You can get liberated in this very life, go back home, back to God. Okay, so you see, he's breaking the life cycle. Otherwise, now we are in the midday of Brahma. That means Brahmaji is 50 years old now. Another 50 years is there. You don't need to spend the 50 years in Prakriti, but you get liberated straight away. Okay. Who's given this philosophy? Srila Prabhupada. Is Srila Prabhupada authentic? Yeah, because look at the way the ISKCON movement is growing. How people are joining, how people are practicing, so many things. So now you have to ask a question. If I join Gaudiya Math, is there an Acharya like this who will take me back? Or should I join a Sri Math? Is there an Acharya who will take me like this? Or should I join an institution of Prabhupada where he will take me back home, back like this? If you ask that question, that'll give an answer whether you should join here or there or there. That is why there is a specialty.
Yes, Prabhu, understood.
Very clear?
Yes, Prabhu. So that's the reason Gaudiya Math is not growing. Those same stagnant, Prabhu, the devotees.
Okay, so go back to Lilamrita. What happened in Lilamrita? When Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakura, he created, let's say, a new branch. What is the consciousness of these practicing devotees? They want power and position there. Okay. Second, in the conversation between Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati and Thakura and Prabhupada, he's saying that these devotees have practiced for so many years and then they want to just sit down and enjoy their practice and then they don't want to do anything. They are into that mode. That is not bhakti. So hence he chooses Prabhupada and empowers him that you should do something phenomenal. So there is an aspect of political influence or drama or whatever you want to call it as in Gaudiya Math. That's why Thakura said that. Now, today does it exist? I don't know. Neither I have context there. But that's the history that came with. Now, let's take Udupi Math. What happened to Udupi Math? When Chaitanya Prabhu went there, he chastised them. What are you doing here? You're just wasting your time. That's the story we read in South India too. Your philosophical understanding is improper. He chastised those Math people and the other people serving, and then Mahaprabhu came back to Puri Jagannath. So you should understand, hey, Madhavendra Puri, this became like that. The Gaudiya Vaishnavas became like this. They go to Udupi Math, it became like this. So there is plus and minus in each of them. But which is the best that I can take? You should conclude out of this. Then practice it. This is no more a blind theory. Okay, someone gave me prasadam, I'll go there and serve. That is sentimentalism and that lack of intelligence. That's what you have to understand. So this topic that we are discussing, Mahaprabhu in Varanasi, is a very technical topic, but very, very brilliant. It affirms the faith in how we need to become a Vaishnava devotees.
Yes, Prabhu. Prabhu, since we are practicing advanced, we're coming to know this different. Otherwise, a neophyte, you can fall into any kind of category, Prabhu.
True. So that's why you have to understand the sloka very clearly. Tatvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. You should begin your Krishna conscious journey of life by doing good services. Be humble, respect devotees, serve them. By doing that, it is not that the Guru or the Acharya is teaching them. Krishna sitting in in his heart as Paramatma is going to reveal this knowledge. The Chaitya Guru will teach you this.
Yes.
The Chaitya Guru will ensure that you are on the right path. There's no effort by you. Your effort is to be, your effort should be a good practicing Vaishnava devotee. Nothing else.
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you,
Prabhu?
Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay, so let's read 47 now. Who's going to read?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, text
Ah.
47. Sanatana Gosai Asi Tanhai Milila Tandra Siksha Lagi Prabhu Masarahila. When Sanatana Goswami came from Bengal, he met Lord Chaitanya at the house of Tapan Mishra, where Lord Chaitanya remained continuously for 2 months to teach him devotional service. Purpose. Lord Chaitanya taught Sanatana Goswami in the line of disciplic succession. Sanatana Goswami was a very learned scholar in Sanskrit and other languages, but until instructed by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he did not write anything about Vaishnava behavior. His very famous book, Haribhakti Vilasa, which gives directions for Vaishnava candidates, was written completely in compliance with the instructions of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In this Haribhakti Vilasa, Sri Sanatana Goswami gives definite instructions that by proper initiation by a bona fide spiritual master, one can immediately become a Brahmana. In this connection, he says, Yata Panchanatam Yati Kamshyam Rasa Vidanataha Tata Diksha Vidanena Dvijatvam Jayate Nrinam.
Left hand side top.
As bell metal is turned to a gold when mixed with mercury in an alchemical process, so one who is properly trained and initiated by a bona fide spiritual master immediately becomes a Brahmana. Sometimes those born in Brahmana families protest this, but they have no strong arguments against this principle. By the grace of Krishna and his devotees, one's life can change. This is confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam by the words Jahati Bandham and Shudyanti. Jahati Bandham indicates that a living entity is conditioned by a particular type of body. The body is certainly an impediment, but one who associates with a pure devotee and follows his instructions can avoid this impediment and become a regular Brahmana by initiation under strict guidance. Srila Jiva Goswami states how a non-Brahmana can be turned into a Brahmana by the association of a pure devotee. Prabha Vishnave Namaha. Lord Vishnu is so powerful that he can do anything he likes. Therefore, it's not difficult for Vishnu to change the body of a devotee who is under the guidance of a pure devotee of the Lord. Hare Krishna.
Fantastic. Whatever we spoke, Prabhupada is writing here. So the two brothers, Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami, they came together to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? So met him in Ramkeli. Okay. So now, what did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teach Rupa Goswami?
What was the question?
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed Rupa Goswami as well as Sanatana Goswami.
Yes, true.
What did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instruct Rupa Goswami?
You taught us stuff. You took the class Rupa.
Rupa Siksha. Okay, that is called the heading. What did he teach? He taught devotional service to Rupa Goswami. He taught devotion service to the greatest depth. Okay, to Rupa Goswami. Now, did he teach devotion service to Sanatana Goswami? No. He taught about the rules and regulations. Okay, he taught about the rules and regulation. So, you see, engage one according to one's talent and intelligence. Right? So, if one is good in skincare and dermatologist is a specialization that he gets. And if that is his inclination, that's his knowledge, engage him to become a dermatologist. Don't make him an engineer. So similarly, in our practice of bhakti also, we have lots of devotees who come up. So each of them have one field of knowledge. Identify the talent and engage him in the talent. That is the key. So as preachers, this is what you have to watch. When you're preaching to your students, you have to watch. Okay, what talent this person possesses, what he possesses. Who is chartered accountant, is an auditor? Okay, give him the finance portfolio. Who is an electrical engineer? Give him all the maintenance portfolio. So like that, you have to do that. Not everyone can become preachers. Look at one's ability to speak, articulate, subject knowledge. Train him towards preaching. This is very important. Mahaprabhu demonstrates this here. What other point is being talked about? Saraswati Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
What is the second point he's talking about?
Main point is a non-Brahmana by initiation under a bona fide spiritual master and proper training and guidance can be made a Brahmana. That's what I
understand. Correct. That means what? A non-Brahmana is no way has any qualification. Neither has knowledge, neither has any practical obligation, no qualification, but he can be turned into a Brahmana. Okay, Brahmana is pure, amazing, he's dear to God, all those things. Who can do that? By the Lord. So the example given here is the bell metal. Bell metal is an ordinary metal. By usage of mercury, the bell metal can be turned into gold. So that's what Prabhupada is saying. So there are practical examples, right? So if some nonsense metal can be turned into gold, then an ordinary low-class person can be turned into a highest perfection of life, God-realized person, a Brahmana, by the mercy of the Lord. That's what he's saying here. Okay? And how that can happen? Simply with the mercy of the Supreme Lord. So now look at all of us. We were all nowhere close to what a spiritual life is. We were loitering around. Now, somewhere through the mercy of the Lord, now look at the way we are practicing. We're not only
demigod worshippers.
Whatever it may be. At least you are demigod worship. Some of us were atheists also. Correct? Some of us were blasphemers of the Lord. Some of us were, doing all nonsensical activities. But where we came? Correct, Mataji? So that's why the bell metal example. Now, the key is this. The key is one who's properly trained. That means trained and means molded, right? The best example is the pot. The pottery guy, he puts the clay, which is completely, in a unusable shape, a chunk of mud, a chunk of clay, onto a rotating wheel. And by his expertise, he's slowly changing that mud lump into a beautiful looking pot. Okay? Colors, shape, and it has utility. So similarly, a neophyte who's been directed, molded by a spiritual master is brought to shape. When he's brought to shape, the spiritual master connects him to the Lord. That's the key. Dhruva Maharaj pastime. See what's happening. Narada plays the role. He connects him to the Lord. And once he connects him to the Lord, the spiritual master doesn't play a major role anymore. Lord has taken care of him. That is the key. So, for our spiritual master to mend us, to give us the direction, to give empowerment, to give us mercy, we need to be sincere in our practice. We should take up services. We should demonstrate good qualities of humility, simplicity, tolerance, not expecting, pride, all those things. Then what happens? He molds you. Let's say the clay was very hard, stony in nature. Whatever water is sprinkled on it, the pottery guy, how much ever he tries, the lump of clay will never become a beautiful pot. Then he'll say, this is not possible, throw this clay away. So we should not be a rejecting clay in our life. That is the point. You clear?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Here they said body is an impediment. But now we know that body is necessary to carry on the devotional service, no, Prabhu?
Yeah, body is required. Without body, how will you practice devotion service?
So, how was it an impediment, Prabhu?
Let's say if you had a cat body, is it a favorable or impediment?
Oh, like that? I thought human beings only.
No. It says body in general. Particular type of, let's say it says conditioned by a particular type of body.
Yes, Prabhu.
Let's say you are an eagle. How will you practice devotion service?
Yes, Prabhu. So it's in general.
It is not just about getting a body, but you should get a body which is conducive, favorable for devotion also.
Prabhu, later he says, one who associates with a pure devotee and follows his instructions can avoid this impediment.
So now let's say, today you see there are many people who have lifestyles or association or in a location or in an unwanted religion or so many combinations where whatever you do, you cannot bring them to practice of proper devotion service. So their own practice itself is an impediment. Right? Now, I had a Jain friend. He's a Jain. Okay. I tried to preach him. How much ever I tried hard, could not take it because he felt, I'm a Jain, I should only follow principles of Jainism. Okay. So you see, that body was an impediment from body here means both gross and subtle.
Oh, okay. Subtle body.
Subtle also, right? So the mind is stopping him. Don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. So he's not able to take it. Even though he's understanding what I'm trying to say. So I was thinking, see, you want to practice, you need mercy. Wow. It's not a joke. That's when I realized more. Are you getting the point?
Yes, understood. Thank you.
Now, let's say someone has got a diseased body. What they will do? Now we see situations of amnesia, Parkinson's, dementia. Body is there, interest is there, but they'll keep forgetting. What do you do? See, many ways it's an impediment. Let's say someone is born deaf. How Shravanam will happen for him?
Yes.
So you see, much of mercy must be there for one to practice devotion service. Correct, no? So, as a devotee in the current life, let's say we may not get liberated, no problem. But we shall not do abominable act that will cause us an impediment for us to progress in our spiritual journey. At least let's not do that. That's my point.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Any questions before we? Today was more technical discussion. Did you all understand what we were discussing?
It was good, Prabhu. We understood.
Yes, Prabhu.
As we will go deeper, you'll see more technical stuff. It's phenomenal.
And you gave more knowledge on the difference between Gaudiya and Vaishnava, this thing, philosophy, Prabhu. It was very nice.
The Gaudiya Math and ISKCON as such.
Mm.
Yeah, there are there. So we are not saying Gaudiya is lower, Rashtriya Vaishnavism is lower, they are higher, nothing. I got convinced with Prabhupada as a life and his instruction. I'm going to follow it. That's it. This is my faith system. There are thousands of good doctors in the society, but you will connect with one doctor, correct?
Yes, Prabhu.
Feel your body, just like that.
Prabhu, the reason I asked a long time back, when Gaudiya sannyasi came to my house, so that time I was stunned what to do like that. Yes.
Yeah, just he's a Vaishnava, right? So
So
be
he
with him
came to my
nicely,
house and he gave the key.
serve him nicely, please him, do all those things.
Yes, Prabhu.
But Prabhu, see, remember, I'll make one last point for you, Prabhu. Okay? Association of devotees is all fine. You only take the rasa from them. Association of spiritual master, you take the instruction, the rasa from them. But you own the plane of your life.
Yes.
You have to fly that plane and navigate it to the destiny. That no one else will do. No other Vaishnava will do. No other, your son, father, your money, nothing will do. It is there in your hand. So now, when you take association of devotees, take the nourishment from them. When you serve your spiritual master, take his mercy and nourishment from them. Take everything from everyone and navigate your life. Navigate the plane of it. That is in your hand. You got it, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. I got it.
You own the journey of your life. No one can do anything about it.
Like you are the architect of your life.
Yes, architect. Yeah, right. You're correct, Mataji. You're the architect of your life.
Yes.
You design your life. For designing that life, you're taking inputs. These are all the inputs now.
Again and again, I thank COVID, Prabhu. Indirectly.
Huh?
COVID, because of COVID, we had a lot of time. We could sit down and then read. Otherwise, I would not have come to this level, Prabhu.
Yeah, you see, the whole world is crying after this COVID impact, but we are enjoying. So that's how the mercy is.
Yes.
Okay. So please remember this word. You are the architect of your life. You have to navigate your plane of life to success. Take all these inputs, use appropriate filters, what is correct, what is not right. Clarify, clarify, clarify. Apply in your life. Be practical. Complete the journey of life.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Prabhu, one example, Prabhu. There is mango on the table. Unless if you give the knife and say, cut it and have it, we wouldn't have done all this, no, Prabhu.
Yeah, I mean, that's your choice. That's a choice you're making. You don't make the choice, you have a different life.
We are the losers.
Yeah. If you saw the mango and say, oh, the mango should not be cut and eat because I heard like this, I heard like that, I eat the whole mango like that, you will die out of the same mango. See how destiny can change.
Again, you need an instrument for that, as well as the mercy should also flow.
Okay. So shall we end here?
Yes, Prabhu.
We didn't do many slokas, but I think we discussed a lot of in-depth.
Very good discussion, Prabhu.
Lot of in-depth,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Prabhu, one last question, Prabhu.
Sure, Mataji.
You were talking about the retreat custom, no, Prabhu. I don't know how some brahmacharis there, they keep sending me messages like that for festivals and all. I don't know how to cut off this, how to block, Prabhu, without doing Vaishnava Aparada.
No, these are all not Vaishnava Aparada. See, Vaishnava Aparadha means do an act out of enviness, out of malice intention to harm that person, to defame that person. That is called Vaishnava Aparadha. Okay. If you do an act in order to protect yourself, in order to, do the right thing and things, these are all not Vaishnava Aparadha. You can just cut it. I'm not interested. That's it. You can block this number.
Okay.
This number on your mobile and you're done. That's all. Don't confuse Vaishnava Aparadha into too many things. Okay?
Yes. Yes, Prabhu. Thank you.
If you get confused with Vaishnava Aparadha too many things, you'll become very fearful. You will not even able to walk a few steps in your house. Oh, I'm accusing Vaishnava Aparadha. That's the story of Mrigari, right? What happened? Mrigari became a devotee. Narada Muni visits back. What did Mrigari do? Oh, I am a devotee. I am supposed to be the highest epitome of Jiva Daya. I cannot kill any living entity anymore. So when he saw these ants and small things, he said he didn't want to even step on them. He was keeping his toe, walking on toe, jumping here and there. Then Narada Muni laughed at him. This is not what this Jiva Daya means. Right? So don't get into that situation. You will just confuse yourself. You're like anything. You got the point, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu. Just block.
And it does not mean that Mrigari kept the left feet on some part of the earth and he killed 3-4 bacteria as one ant, so he'll go to hell. No, that's not the point here. Okay? Just become practical.
Okay.
No enviness, no malice intentions. If you feel there is danger, there's a harming situation, just stay away. Go away from it. That's it.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you.
No, don't prove your point. That's the key. And then there's no offense anywhere. Mataji,
Yes,
let's
Prabhu.
say my daughter practices chanting. Okay?
Okay.
And she made a mistake. I hit her. Now, she's chanting, she's following Ekadashi, she's doing some devotional service, she's also Vaishnavite. Now I hit her. Now am I committed to Vaishnava offense here?
No, Prabhu. You have the right to do it.
Then what happens? No one can do anything.
That's what Prabhu, some lectures I've heard. Future they may become devotees, so don't.
No. So please don't confuse all those things. Become practical. You are the one who's providing shelter to her, so you have the right to tell her. And you're telling her not for her to suffer and go into hell. You're telling her for her own benefit and progress and success of life. And that is not Vaishnava offense. Let's make it very clear.
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu, that means.
You don't tell. Who else will tell her?
Yes,
And Yamaraja will punish you for not taking care of your own child. Then you will be deprived of your child. He'll say like that. What do you do? Okay. Okay.
Yes.
So become
So
practical.
devotees do wrong thing. If you don't correct them, that's as Vaishnava Aparadha.
No. Ask him to read the books here. Chumma.
Prabhu, that means sins are more stronger than aparadha, Prabhu, or both the same only? Aparadha.
No. Sin means, now let's say you're not supposed to drink alcohol. Okay. And suddenly a set of friends came home. They said, hey, come on, yeah, one day let's have beer. You had beer. Okay. Now, having that beer with your friends, even though you're practicing Brahmini, you had beer. That is a sinful act. That is not aparadha. You got the point?
Papa. This is Papa. This is Papa, I think so, no, Prabhu?
Papa anta nodi atara.
Papa.
Okay, we'll end the.
No, Prabhu, this is.
Yeah, like that. It is.
Okay. Yes, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yes. Okay, we are meeting at 8 o'clock, so we'll end here so that I can go to the other meeting. Okay. Grandharaj Chaitanya Caritamrita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gurudev ki jai. Thai Gaur.
Hari bol.
Kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki. Vaishnava Thakur Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Tat Sat.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Prabhu.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Krishna Dandavat.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Dhanavad Pranam Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavats Pranam Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.